Now I would like to request Professor Dr. Gowher Rizvi to kindly deliver his convocation speech. Ladies and gentlemen, Professor Dr. Gowher Rizvi.
The Honorable Minister for Education, Dr. Deepu Moni, the President of the Board of Trustees, Mr. Hassan Raja, the Honorable Vice Chancellor, Mr. Chaudhry Mafizur Rahman, distinguished members of the faculty, students, ladies and gentlemen. First, let me thank the Vice Chancellor and the Chairman of the Board of Trustees for honoring me by inviting me here this afternoon to deliver the convocation speech. It is truly a great honor which I value and for which I am truly grateful. I dug around before coming to this university to learn a little bit more about the work of this university, and I must admit that for a university so young, it has developed a formidable record of achievements. I want to congratulate you on your vision, congratulate on your to the board and others who have supported this university for their generosity. What struck me most was for a young university, it has established a very large number of institutions of higher education and research, which of course is the central purpose of any university. I've just learned that the board, or rather the United Group of Companies, has generously endowed the university for research in addition to 10 crore taka. That is a wonderful and a noble example to set, and I hope other universities will also learn from here. But let me come back to why we are here today. After all, we are here to celebrate the students who are graduating. To them, I say heartiest congratulations for having worked so hard for 4 years to arrive at this stage where you have your work has led you to successfully complete your degree program. Congratulations. This is one achievement that nobody can ever take away from you. It is your hard-earned degree. I also turn to the faculty members. After all, it is they who made it possible for you to go through these 4 years, teach you, give their very best to you with no expectation of any return. Their reward was your hard work and your success, and that is what all a teacher can ask for. So, the members of the faculty, let me also thank you for what you have done for the students and for the advancing knowledge in our country. Finally, let me also take the opportunity of thanking families, friends, parents who have made considerable sacrifices to put you through the university. Parents, like teachers, do not expect anything. This is the most selfless act that parents do, to give you with a lifelong endowment and to enable you to lead a happy, successful, and a prosperous life. So I take this opportunity to thank the parents as well. I will come back to the students in a moment, but let me say a few things that is currently agitating our minds. Every day we will see in the newspapers, we are being told that the universities are not producing employable graduates. Newspapers are saying this, public officials are saying this, parents and students are being confused as to why universities are not doing what they are supposed to be doing. If you look at what is going around in the media, in the op-ed pages, in the various public discourse, you will notice that everything wants something from a university. And everybody wants something different. But universities are not designed to deliver these things. And this is what I am going to argue. Universities, by definition, cannot become a training institution for preparing you for a skill, for a craft or a skill or a profession. That is not the purpose of the university. Anybody who expects this to, for the universities to do that, I think you should look elsewhere. Why do I say the universities are not a place to prepare you for a profession or a skill? It is because professions change. Market demand changes. The sort of skills that employers require are constantly changing. So any specific training that a university may impart is bound to become obsolete in a very short period of time. We have seen professions that existed yesterday do not exist today. We have seen the demand for degrees that was yesterday have ceased to be demand now. Knowledge is developing fast. Knowledge is growing at an enormous speed. But at the same time, knowledge is becoming obsolete, is becoming outdated, and we need to be constantly renewing those pursuit of knowledge. If you stop for a moment to think about what will the students who are graduating do, I can tell you only one thing. Most of these graduates will not only change jobs as they must to grow and advance, but they will actually be changing professions. And an average student will change 3 to 4 times their profession during their professional career. What this means is that if you are prepared for one particular profession, and when you want to change your profession, as do accountants are becoming civil servants, doctors are entering into the world of business, lawyers are becoming public servants, airline pilots are looking into other professions. So a training in profession confines you to one particular job, one particular profession. But since it is invariable that you will change profession, universities have to think about that and give you the tool, give you the mechanism, give you the ability to adapt to the changing circumstances of your life. And how does this universities do this? The best and the oldest universities that have survived through the millennia have done, yes, they have innovated, yes, they have reformed, yes, they have changed. But the essential business of the universities have remained the same for over 1,000 years. The role of the university is to teach students, and that is very important. Nobody should forget. That is why the teachers are there, that is why we are paid, and that is why teachers come into this profession, to teach. And the second reason why universities exist is because they produce knowledge. Without constant production of knowledge, without breaking through different barriers and creating new horizon, our society will become static. Their progress will stop. So a combination of teaching students who will be future citizens of this country, of the globe, who will take on the burdenship of leadership. At the same time, the teachers must continue to research and produce new knowledge. Building knowledge is an essential and central part of a university. That is why I am so happy, so delighted that this university, essentially an undergraduate university, puts high priority on research, building knowledge, and not only making a contribution to your own students, but to the country as well. So what is that education that university provides you, which has a lifelong ability to survive? Universities do two things, and if they can do these two things successfully, they will always remain useful. First is they train the mind. Universities are not about learning skills, professions. It is about training the mind of the students to enable them to think, to enable them to analyze, to be able to come to evidence-based conclusions, to sift through large quantities of material, to know what is relevant and what is irrelevant, and then to draw the conclusions and the solutions that you are looking for. That essentially, the difference between when you came to the university and when you leave, if you feel that your mind has been disciplined, then your university has done you the greatest service that you could ask for. It is the training of the mind. A mind that can be applied because it is so disciplined that it can be applied for any purpose, for any job, for any situation. There is another thing that the university gives you. As I said earlier, knowledge is expanding, old knowledge is becoming obsolete, new professions are coming up, things that we didn't think of 10 years ago are now a daily part of our life. So universities, because they have disciplined your mind, they have given you the ability to analyze, it also makes you a lifelong learner. You become a lifelong learner. And this, I would argue, is the greatest portable, a skill that you can carry wherever you go. And because you are a lifelong learner, you are constantly retooling yourself, retooling yourselves. You are advancing your way you think and way you do, so that you constantly remain relevant. Obviously, in this short period of time, I'm not going to go into greater depth about developing, systematizing, disciplining of the mind. But these two, if you have achieved these two things, the university has served you well. And if the faculty have imparted these two things in you, they have done well, and we have to be grateful to them forever. But in conclusion, let me come back to the students with whom I started. It is their day of great celebration. Enjoy every minute of this success. It is a success you have earned. It is a success that nobody has given to you. You have had to work for it. And by being educated in a university, you are now a part of a tiny, tiny, tiny global elite. You will never need to look back. You will be walking, charting new courses of life. And your education will always differentiate you from the rest. There is no question. The world is divided, those who have had the privilege of university education and those who have not. And now that you have it, there is no question that you are that privileged elite. What you do with that privilege is what the society will be looking at you. You have had a privileged education, a privileged training, which has distinguished you from the rest of the society. But what you do with that privilege is what matters. Are you going to use this privilege only for self-advancement? Or are you going to use this privilege to help those who have not had this opportunity, who have not been that fortunate, who have been not so able, not so well off? That is what privilege confers. Privilege not only makes your life good, but it imposes on you an important duty to transcend yourself and derive your happiness and success from serving others. If you have done that, if you do that, you will have done your job to the society. You will have made your parents proud, your teachers proud, and the society will feel beholden to you. With those words, I thank again the Vice Chancellor, the Chairman of the Board of Trustees, for giving me this opportunity to speak to you. Thank you. Joy Bangla, Joy Bangabandhu.
Thank you, Professor Dr. Gowher Rizvi, our convocation speaker.